Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about the brushes and how to use them. Brushes in Photoshop are more than they seem to be. It might seem you simply need to pick a color, choose a size, and paint. You can reduce the opacity or even paint using a fusion mode. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. When you realize there are a lot of different types of brushes, you will discover a more advanced way of working with them. For example, there are brushes such as this here, which instead of brush video, they are represented with a picture of the brush. This one simulate and act as real brushes. So, if I simply click here, I make a spot. If I stroke, watch how it works. Watch how it shows. There are other brushes which act as airbrush, such as this very one. Airbrushes kind of sprayed on canvas. Airbrushes kind of sprayed on the canvas. These kind of brushes work better if you don't use the mouse, like on a digital tablet. You can press your fingers and adjust the pressure directly. Other ones have a predefined form. They are not round brushes as the ones we are most used to. However, there are another type of brushes with a completely different behavior. That will be the case of this brush that looks like grass. I'm going to pick a blue color and the red from the bottom. If I paint, the result is some sort of color mixtures with R between blue and red, and in the between colors. So this brush is affected by the nervy colors, which is quite unusual. So if I draw grass using two different tones of green, it is going to add other color in between these two. Another interesting thing about this brush is that it picks random colors. Let's have a look at this other brush with a leaf shape. As I stroke it, draws different sizes, position, and color lift. Alright, I'm going to show you how these brushes work. Okay, I am creating a new layer. I am giving it white color, and I'm picking a not too weighted brush. Let's pick a normal brush. And let's click on the button next to the one we used to pick our brush. This button opens the brush window. This window comes along with the brush preset window, which has some default brushes. If you notice, here there are a lot of options we hadn't seen up to now. Among them is Shape Dynamic. Shape Dynamic tells me that the brush size is going to keep changing. In here I can set the range of variation the brush is going to have, and I can also preview it. Okay, here I can also know the minimum size. and you can also set the angle, although it's not spottable when using the round brush. As a second option, we find scattering. Here we can choose how many strokes we are going to paint. And here, the count jitter. On the other side, we can pick the texture option. On this option, the brush's contours are texturized with some of the pattern's textures. Dual brush options enable me to pick brush and use it within the space of another one, like a brush inside a brush. It's like a clipping mask. Here, on Color Dynamics, I can work within the foreground and background jitter, which is what happened on the grass brush, remember? We pick two colors and it combines them along with all the colors in between them. We can adjust the fusion here. Hue jitter allows me to regulate the range of color from the color wheel I'm going to use. If I set it 0, it's only going to use one color, red. I can also adjust the brightness and the purity. Transform options enable me to paint in a way that some strokes will have opacity, which some will not. This is a quick review on the things you can find on the brush window. On the next video, we will learn how to create brand new brushes.